going straight to the interview, the first question is, with you, we fell in love with not just the art, but also the artist that is you. How
Mhm.
your passion is so visible in your works as an actress, a filmmaker, a community leader, how you promote a world of dream chasers, purpose pursuers and pushers, and fear fighters. How and how these are in perfect alignment with your watchword to be a place where art meets purpose, even beyond just creativity you inspire. Could you please share us more highlights on how you began your versatile creative journey?
Yes, first, thank you all for doing such great research because these questions
Mm.
were very
You're
specific. So
welcome.
that was amazing. I started my creative journey as a little girl. I would say, like, on record, I started singing at 3 years old, and I would sing. I was in my first play at 3, and I always connected to art. I'm an expressive person, and art gave me an opportunity to express all the emotions, the feelings, but also express the imagination that I had. I always had a large imagination. I seen things greater than what my circumstances or my surroundings were. And in art, I was able to live out that imagination. So I started singing and in plays. I took piano lessons with my grandmother. And I just never lost sight of that need to be an artist. I had a singing group growing up named Harmony, and it was me
Wow.
and my best friends. Pardon?
No, I
Okay.
just said, wow, I'm just amazed by what you're saying.
Oh,
Your
thank you.
experience.
Yeah, I had a singing group with my best friends. Our name was Harmony. We had a record deal for a moment, and the record deal didn't go as planned, and it hurt us so much, and it kind of stopped us from singing for a very, very long time.
Wow.
And I kind
Sorry.
of vowed to myself, yeah, it was hard. I mean, even like 10, 15 years later, we're still working through that experience because as an artist, we get sensitive about our work, and I kind of vowed to myself that I would never allow I call it my art baby, but it's just my artist. I would never give that over to anyone to have power or control over it. I'll always protect it, and I'll always follow my heart and my dreams. And so that's kind of how the journey started. And it became relentless because I was hurt, and I knew that I just was never gonna stop no matter what. Oh, Queen, you're muted. I can't hear you.
Yeah, I love the whole spirit of the go-getter. I know what I want. I am not going to stop regardless of what happened. Um, could you please share your first experience as a filmmaker? What was it like your first time being making movies?
Um, I would say I was a filmmaker before I knew it. I'm always about capturing memories, just like
Wow.
capturing moments because you never know when someone may leave you, or you never know when you just need to go back on a moment just to feel present at that time again. So I was always big on that. And I would start taking like videos of food and stuff. I'm a foodie, I love to eat. And I would take videos of food that I would cook and edit it up to cool things, or I would get on YouTube and do videos and try to edit. But when I really, really realized that I was a filmmaker and I can like coin I'm a filmmaker is when I came out to LA and I studied at Richard Lawson Studios. I took this program called PDP, and it's the Professional Development Program. And in this program, they have you put a camera in your own hand. They give us some exercises and topics to create films around. But once you're done with the program, you have like 10 short films that you've created in a 16-week period of time. And the program was just so intensive that it it allowed me to see just how creative I could be, just how much my point of view could really come across, and also change the world if I was pure hearted in my intentions of the work that I was creating. And I realized that filmmaking was one of the most powerful things in terms of change, because a lot of us are influenced by what we see in film.
I greatly agree with you because somehow the movies we watch shape how we think, how we feel, and how we act. When I first heard the name Miranda, the first thing came to my mind, Nia Miranda. When I heard Miranda, I thought of Miranda in the Shakespeare novel, Tempest. How dear she was to her father. But
Yeah.
anyways, moving on to the next question. You describe yourself as an artivist. Please share more glimpse of your works in this regard.
Okay. In terms of me being an artist, and then I'm gonna circle back to the name with you too. But let's talk about an artist. Um, like I said, filmmaking is a
Okay.
huge catalyst for change, right? Based off of what we see, you can make
Yeah.
people feel feelings that sometimes in a conversation we're too guarded or protected to really experience those feelings. And so when I started acting professionally, for some reason, the work that was coming my way was work that either it was someone's true life story that I had to recreate, or it was just deep topics that so many people I know personally had experienced. And I realized how, if I'm going to tell these stories, if I'm going to show up on anyone's screen, it has to be for a reason. Like how you all have art for a purpose, it has to be for a reason. It has to change something in the atmosphere. And so I kind of vowed to take on projects that I believed in and I was passionate about, so that I could have the deeper conversation. I can step away from being just the actor and have conversations with people in the community about these topics. If they went from domestic violence to sexual assault to gender identity crisis, to just different, topics. The art is beautiful, but it's about having the conversation afterwards so we can become more together and we can become more understanding of one another. So that's why I feel like in order for me to be an artist, I also have to be an activist, because this art has to change something in this world.
Well, that's so, so, so beautiful. I love how you think. I love the way you view life and how you express yourself. We're grateful to have you on board the special issue with the theme, The Art of Christmas. Do you celebrate Christmas? And what's your most memorable moment yet in this holiday season?
I do celebrate Christmas. I
Okay.
let's see. It was just been like a family tradition. What I celebrate is family. I celebrate togetherness. So when I get a chance to be around family, it gives me it gives me rejuvenation. It refills my cup. It gives me peace. And so Christmas for me, outside of, Jesus's birthday, because we definitely want to celebrate Jesus' birthday, but it's just really about family and togetherness for me. And so one of my greatest Christmas memories is this one time, my family and we all went to my uncle's house, my uncle Corky, and we all had like a big slumber party there. It was maybe about maybe 40,
Well,
maybe 20 of us almost. And I was young and we just stayed up all night. We made so much noise. It was like, okay, I don't even think they knew what they were getting themselves into when they had all of us there. But it just felt good. It felt like everything in the world was okay, because the people who I loved the most and the people who I felt loved me the most, we were all together. And that's probably one of my greatest Christmas memories.
oh, that's so sweet. That's really nice. Being the Christmas holiday, it's a time to recharge, have connect to your family, as you said. Please share any of your favorite highlights playing the role Candace in the Christmas movie A Very Merry Hood Christmas.
So first, A Very Merry Hood Christmas was my very first Christmas film I'd ever been in. And I always wanted to be in a Christmas film because I love them. It's like the season for Christmas. You want to listen to good music, look at good films. eat cookies and have hot chocolate. It's just like an entire experience. So having a Christmas film was like always like a dream of mine. And this one specifically, I had such a good time on set. We filmed a lot of hours, but the people who I was filming with was like family, so it made it all worth it. Um, I had a few scenes that stuck out to me while filming this film. One scene is just when the family got together and we all danced with each other. I'm a dancer, so I love to dance. And we all just was able to have just a good time with each other. It wasn't about the scenes
Oh, that's
or the
nice.
lines. Yeah, it was fun. It wasn't about the scenes or the lines. It was just about having a good time with each other. And that was one of my favorite scenes, dancing and breaking bread and cooking with each other. And then my other favorite scene is a scene between me and this actor who played my husband in the film, Thomas L. Harris. He and I had a scene where me as a mother, I play a mother in this film. I wanted to protect my daughter in a very specific way. And he was really trying to help me or encourage me to see things from a different point of view. And I wasn't budging on my point of view. And it was a really great scene. The intensity was there. The chemistry
Yeah.
between both of our characters was there. And it wasn't about who was right or who was wrong. It was about two people who both loved this little girl and wanted the best for her. Although they seen it from different sides, it was an act of pure love, even if it was intense. It was interesting to me, but I loved that scene because both of them made strong points. And ultimately, you'll see if you see the film, you'll see what the conclusion was of it. But it was really a strong and powerful scene.
Oh, that's really beautiful. And this makes me want to ask a question. Like, what was growing up like for you? What was your childhood like?
My childhood was amazing. I had an amazing childhood, and I wish that the kids of these days, they had a childhood as great as mine. Right now, I feel like they have a lot of distractions with social media and not playing outside and stuff. Like my childhood was creative. I was the child that
Um,
created, that wanted to invent everything. I was the child that built tents with sheets around the whole house and cushions from the pillows. Or I would, make up my own scenes. I was a singer, so I would get my little tape recorder and I would record my own demos and then go down the yellow pages and try to call studios to see if they would accept my demo tape. And they would be like, how old are you? And I'm like, 7. They're like, girl, where's your parents? I was creative, and my mother and my family as a whole, they supported my creativity. I had really great friends who are still my friends till today, 20 plus year friendships, 30-year friendships I have. And I grew up feeling like anything was possible. And I fought really hard growing up to be an adult to keep that mindset because we have responsibilities, we have bills, we have so many things that sometimes make you doubt that anything is possible. And my childhood and how great it was really did help me keep that mindset. The only other thing that was interesting about my childhood is I'm Nigerian, and my mother and
wow.
father, yeah, I'm a Niger girl. And so I grew up in Detroit, Michigan. However, my father being Nigerian and him living in out of state, I would visit him all the time. I'd stay with him for the summers. I lived with him for a few years, and I had an interesting time honoring fully all of who I was. Like in Detroit, it was not a huge Nigerian population. So I was more centered around just Black American culture, which is still extremely rich and, creative and brilliant. And then there's this Nigerian girl in me who I would be able to embrace that and honor it when I was with my father. But as I get older, I see that it's something that I long to embrace even more now and to honor more now, especially before I have my own children, so that once I do have kids, they can feel full in all of who they are, being, in America, but having Nigerian roots and being able to connect with that. I just wish when I was younger, I would have been able to go to Nigeria as a kid and connect with it a little more.
Sure. You can always consider. I mean, your father is also from Nigeria. So, what part of Nigeria is your father from?
He's Igbo. So what's interesting is when you were saying Miranda and talking about my name, Miranda is my middle name. So my name is Nia Miranda. Well, duck it now because I'm married, but that's my middle name. And this is the first interview I've even ever talked about this with. So go girls. But I'm in the process of this is an exclusive. Listen, I'm in the process of contemplating changing my name. I'm thinking about changing my artist name and taking on again and embracing again my father's last name, which is Nwosuocha, Nwosuocha. And because
Nwosuocha.
yeah, Nwosuocha. Yeah, so because Miranda is a pretty name. It's an Igbo name. Yes, it is.
Wow.
Yes, I'm an Igbo girl.
Yeah.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, I've been taking tutoring, but I've been taking tutoring and I've been learning Igbo, and I know it's been challenging, but it's been so rewarding. And so I'm really considering changing my name so that when people see me, people ask you all the time what makes you unique. And I guess that you could look on maybe my Instagram page and possibly see it, or I could write down like I have a good personality, but something that makes me unique is my name, and that's my full name. And I think that it has power behind it. And when you see Nia Miranda, it's like, it's nice, but it makes you think about Shakespeare, or it may make you think about, someone from a Hispanic descent. I want people to see my name, know who I represent, know where I'm from, and know that I have thousands and thousands of ancestors behind me rooting me on. So I'm considering changing my name. Yeah.
Oh, that's a very, very, very big changing your name. From co-founding Bringing Love Back, a platform with a powerful mission using art as a tool for good, to being a bright light, especially to the Black community, what would you consider most fulfilling right now in your journey as a creative?
The most fulfilling thing in my journey as a creative is that I have the power to create.
Wow.
And me knowing that, sometimes as artists, especially as actors, when you're not booked, if you are not, doing a specific role on a specific series or in a specific film, sometimes you can be confused to think that you're not an actor or you're not an artist or that you cannot create. And for me, what's the most fulfilling is knowing that I don't need anyone to book me for me to create. I can create my own. I can do it when I feel it. My artistry and me being an actor is not predicated on anyone else. It's solely mine. I have ownership of it. And that not only fulfills me, but it empowers me.
Yeah. I'm not Igbo, Miranda, but there's a word I learned in Igbo, Echefulam. It means may your name never be forgotten. Yeah. So, are you there? Are you with me?
Yes, I am. That's beautiful. And feel free to call me Nia.
Nia, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you feel creative in developed countries are advantaged than those in developing countries? And why do you feel, if yes, why no, why not? Why do you feel that way?
So I feel that opportunity and access does make a difference in terms of more developed countries than underdeveloped countries. But what I also know is that when it comes to creating film specifically, you can do that with a cell phone. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't have to, it's okay to have
Yeah.
the big, huge red cameras or the black magics and the drones and all that great stuff. It's cool to have that. But you can create the film or the idea you want with something as simple as a phone. And I believe that a lot of people have phones, even in underdeveloped countries. So I believe that if they were empowered to know, do the best you can with what you got, then I think that it will balance out the personal fulfillment. How and ever, a huge dream of mine is to be able to work in Nigerian films. I want to work in Nollywood so bad. And because I see it's up and coming, and I see how they have been very dedicated to creating, and now the quality of their films and their productions are so much greater just because they started and didn't stop. And I believe that there is an advantage in some underrepresented countries that if you have one person who has the idea, that means that you have access to tons of locations, which probably won't be too expensive. Whereas here in America, because they know the money that films bring in, they're charging you so much for a location or for, wardrobe styling. I think in other places, it's an advantage because the cost to start it up is really low. You just have to have that inspiration and know that you can do it. So I see the advantage and the disadvantage in it.
Oh, that's beautiful. And we're looking forward to having you here in Nigeria in our Nollywood in movies.
Thank you.
I'm so anticipating purpose. You have also shared how this comes with responsibility as a creative. We understand the high tendencies of getting stressed out, even while pursuing our passion. There are days when we're even depressed, maybe may creep into depression may creep into in or just that inexplicable feeling of overwhelmness. Do you have any relatable experience to this? And if so, how are you able to manage and thrive beyond phases like this? Any quick tips on mental health for creatives?
Yes.
What's your take?
One thing I will say is I have definitely had the human emotion of feeling, I wouldn't say doubtful, but feeling anxious and impatient, I would say. I don't really say that I allow myself to get too depressed because I don't allow my expectations to exceed my gratitude. I stay in the sense of gratitude all the time. So I don't really let my mind get to the place of depression because I can always find something to be grateful for. I'm here, I'm breathing, I'm talking, I'm living, I'm grateful for that. I'm speaking to you all in a different country using technology. That's amazing. I'm grateful for that. And so when you're in those spaces where you're down and you're confused and things are foggy, start to think about the things that you're grateful for and the things that you can control. There are things in this industry and as an artist and just in this world in general that we don't have control over. And
Yeah.
when you think about the things you don't have control over, you're now at effect to those things instead of being at cause to creating your own life and creating your own destiny. So what I would say, quick mental health tips is to one, always go back to the things that you're grateful for. Two, go back to your old prayers when you were praying for things that 9 times out of 10 you're currently living in and you may just have overlooked. And 3, connect with your purpose. And that's probably really number 1 is to connect with your purpose. When you're connected to your purpose, you know that it's bigger and it's deeper than just you.
Wow, that's lovely. Really, really lovely. Balancing work time and rest time is a struggle for many creatives. Please share a few tips on how you try to balance work time and rest time and family time as well.
Wow, this is probably that one is the biggest balance for me. That's the biggest challenge for me is balancing it all because I want to be great at everything. I want to be the greatest employee. I want to be the greatest actor. I want to be the greatest wife, the greatest daughter, the greatest. So when I'm striving to be great at all these things and balancing, it is definitely challenging. Um, but what I do is I make sure that when I am wearing whatever title out of those things I just named, that I'm present in that moment. So if I'm working, I'm present with whatever I'm working on so I can give it, all that I have at that particular moment. When I'm with my husband, I'm present with my husband. So that means work is going to have to wait. Social media is going to have to wait. The world is going to have to wait. I have to be present right here with him. The same thing when I get a chance to travel back and be with my family. I just know that what's important to me is bigger than just career and work. So career and work is not allowed to have all of my time and all of my energy. I have so many people believing in me, supporting me, and loving me. And it's my responsibility to give them that same amount of love back.
Well, I really, really love how you see things. And there is one phrase in Nigeria, in a situation like this, we say, "Now, woman, you be."
Say it again. I
It's
want to
like,
learn.
I think
Now, woman, you be. Just say it together.
Now, woman, you beast. Now, woman, you be.
exactly. You got it right. Speaking of wanting to be great at everything you do, what does success mean to you? How do you define success?
What's interesting is I already feel successful. The fact that I get to do what I love, I get to live in my purpose. My purpose makes room for me. That's success. The fact that I can make my family proud. Like, you guys, my mother, my father, my grandmother, they're proud of me. And not because I've done everything that they wanted me to do, but because I've done what I know I'm put on this earth to do. And they respect me for that. And so because of that, I'm successful. I have put my mark in this world. I've done things that are historic, that will go down in history, and the people after me for generations and generations to come would be able to see what I was able to accomplish in this world, even right now. And so for that, I'm successful. I'm really still looking forward to everything else that's going to come, because I know it's so much more I have in store, and I have so many more gifts and dreams inside of me that I have to live. But the fact that I'm doing them and I know what's to come, I'm successful. That's success.
Well, just like what you just said, I said
One of
earlier,
the
Echefulam in Igbo, it means may your name never be forgotten. Okay. Yeah. You
I love
describe
that.
yourself. Yeah, I sent it to you.
I just got it.
You
I'm
describe
I'm copying it
yourself.
down right now.
Okay. You describe yourself as the perfect combination of sweet and spicy, and we cannot agree less, of course. A Detroit with Igbo Nigerian roots and another description of you we connect to. We love how you showcase your identity with some contagious glee. Please briefly tell us something we do not know about Nia Miranda.
Well, that I told you guys earlier that Nia Miranda is probably going to turn to Nia Nasocha.
Yeah.
And that for me is huge because I've already kind of made a name for Nia Miranda, and I've done so much great work under that name. But when I get the Emmy, the Oscar, the Grammy, the Tony, it's gonna say Nia Nasocha. That's something that people don't know, but you all heard it first. That's what it's gonna say. That's what it's gonna be. I'm gonna spell it for you too, so you all can have it.
Wow, that's lovely. In as much as I love the color of what you're wearing, I'm going to ask you one really tricky question. Okay, let's go a little bit poetic. If poetry is a rainbow, and you have a choice of one color in that palette, what would that color be and why?
That color would be like violet. The
Wow,
color
you're
would
the
be
second
violet.
person choosing violet.
I
Why
say
violet?
I say violet because in order to get violet, you have to mix red and blue together. And red
True.
sometimes is, passionate. It's love, it's sacrifice, it's anger. Red is such a powerful color, but when you mix that blue together, the cool, the calm, the peaceful, it creates a color of its own. And I feel like violet honors both red and blue and respects them for what they are, and shows how something so fiery and something so calm could come together and make something really beautiful.